Hello guys, and welcome to my 8th commentary video. Today, we're going to be answering the lifelong question that we've all had since a very young age. And that lifelong question is, what would happen if gravity got turned off for 5 seconds? Now, this is a pretty loaded question. I know we're all probably wondering what would happen if gravity got turned off for 5 seconds, and so am I. So that's why I'm here today to answer this question. So, I want to talk about a few cases that could be true. So first of all, you could have someone that was in the middle of jumping, right? So this person who's in the middle of jumping, they're going to be in their jump, and then gravity is going to get turned off. And then, you know what's going to happen? They're just going to float upwards. They're going to float up and up and up and away. And then, that probably is not going to be good for them to be floated up and away like that. So what's going to happen is they're going to float up and away, and that's not going to be good for them. So, obviously that's not a good thing, because when the gravity gets turned back on, it's going to be like they're going to fall back to the ground. And if gravity's turned, let's say they jump up at 10 meters per second, and then their gravity's going to go off for 5 seconds, so then they're going to go up in the air to 60 meters in the air. And that's going to be a really crazy height to be at, especially for someone who doesn't have any way to get down. That is going to be sort of a crazy event to go through. And I hope no one has to go through that, because that would be really scary. So, yeah. First of all, anyone who's jumping in the air, that would be a really bad thing for them to go through. But then I wanted to talk about some other things. So, rivers are a source of water that flow naturally out in the wild. And what would happen to these rivers if the gravity got turned off is the water would probably escape from the river. And that wouldn't be good for anyone, because as humans, we love to drink water. I don't know if it's only humans watching this video, so I'm sorry if you're not. But we love to drink water, so that would probably be not good for us. And then, yeah, so that wouldn't be good. And then the next topic I have for us to talk about is the idea of the so basically what would happen is if it was raining, the rain would stop accelerating to the ground for 5 seconds, and then the rain would kind of gather in the air, because rain is gathered in clouds. So the rain would probably start gathering in the air, and then what would happen is when the gravity finally turns back on after 5 seconds, you're gonna have all this rain just kind of raining down on everyone. But this is probably why they give it the name rain, because oh shoot, I tabbed out. Sorry guys, 1 second. But if I had to guess, I'd say that's probably why they give it the name rain, because it's like raining down on people. And I would say that's concerning, like all the rain gathering down on everyone at once. But honestly, I just think that would be a good way to cancel out the effects that the river flying would have on us. So I think yeah, that would actually probably be a good thing if the rain also stopped. So now, let's talk about a more sort of spicy topic that I'm sure a lot of you guys have on your minds. So, that topic is actually what would happen to any of the natural disasters. So let's say there's a tornado. What would happen to the tornado if that happened? Now, you would probably say that the tornado would probably get destroyed because there's no gravity. But tornadoes actually aren't, they don't live on the ground, so they're not really affected by gravity, which is not good for us because we kind of want the tornadoes to go away. But it would be good for the tornadoes because then they would be able to stay on the ground and they would have like a nice safe place. So all in all, the tornadoes wouldn't really be affected. But now, I want to talk about a more devastating topic. What would happen to all the wildlife? Now, we don't really know what would happen to all the wildlife because we've never been in a situation where all the gravity went away for like 5 seconds in a row. So what I'm gonna talk about here is actually just speculation. But what happens if the gravity goes away? The animals, well, you gotta understand this about animals. They have different levels of intelligence. Like crows are a really smart animal, I've heard. And some other animals aren't as smart. So the ones that are smart, actually no, let's talk about the ones that are dumb. The ones that are dumb, they'd probably be sitting there and they'd be like, oh, like, I don't know what's happening right now, I'm kind of floating in the air. But they wouldn't really know what to make of the situation. But then the smarter animals, that's where the intelligence comes into play, because the smarter animals would be sitting there and they'd be like, oh, like the gravity turned off for a few seconds. And I know this because I can recognize that the gravity got turned off. So I'm not like a little dumb animal like all the rest of them are. And I can understand what's happening here and see this pattern unfold. And yeah, and now I'm gonna perform better than all the other animals because I have this insight that they don't have. And I think this wouldn't be good for any type of animal ecosystem, whether it's like foxes, whether it's birds, whether it's... This guy took my kill. But yeah, I don't think it would be good for any type of animal. Because it would kind of disrupt their food chain. So even though they're getting like a bunch of food just for a second, it's not actually going to give them that much of a benefit because the whole food chain is going to be disrupted. So then they're not going to know they're not going to be able to get any of their food again for like another week after that happens. And I just feel like that would be pretty devastating. If I was an animal living out in the wild and that happened to me, I'd be pretty upset about that. Like, I wouldn't be happy. I'd probably try and do something to get it to change, although the animals probably aren't the smartest, so they're not going to do anything to change it. Even though they're smart enough to recognize the gravity turned off, I don't think they'd be I don't think they'd be smart enough to recognize that it disrupts their food supply chain and that this is kind of devastating for all of them. This guy's name is also Ping, but it's higher Ping. But anyways, yeah, so gravity turning off would probably not be a good idea for any species if you were to think about it in sort of a logical sense. I personally am not the evil type to turn off gravity for anyone, but yeah, I'm not sure. If you guys want to let me know what you think in the comment section, I'd be more than happy to take it into consideration and make another video talking about all the really cool things that you guys bring to the table. See, this guy just said good luck, have fun, but little does he know he's not going to have any fun because I'm in this game. And when I'm in this game, it is over for everyone who is fighting against me. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to bridge here. See, this is how the food chain gets disrupted. Yeah, so I was basically the smarter animal there, and I was attacking the dumber animal who was kind of lost. Like, he was kind of confused because the gravity went off, but he wasn't too sure what happened. Right, that's another dumb animal who wasn't sure what happened to the gravity. Just to kind of give you guys a sense of what's going on here. Another dumb animal? Oh, I'm the dumb animal. What the heck? You know what? I think that's a good place to end off today's video. I hope you liked I hoped you guys liked today's video. This was a very interesting topic. I did a lot of research for this video, so make sure you smash the like button and smash the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in my next commentary video, which will be number 9. Bye, guys.